My brother Mike rang me and he goes, rings up, says, have you heard Peter's been arrested? And I said, nah, but that'd be right, bloody, he's probably got tangled up in some protest. Don't worry about it, Probably by the end of the weekend he'll be out and it'll be all sorted. Got that bit wrong.
What is the situation security-wise across Egypt, Peter?
But what we're seeing is a growing sense of unease, of disorder, of insecurity. Journalists are never supposed to become the story. Apart from the print reporter's byline or the broadcaster's sign-off, we are supposed to remain in the background as witnesses to or agents for the news, never as its subject. Al Jazeera, at the end of 2013, was just looking for someone to cover the bureau in Cairo. It was only going to be a 3-week stint. It was just a great opportunity to come and see a new place.
These protesters are making it very clear just how determined they are to continue. We now need to see whether the government is prepared to carry out mass arrests.
I didn't have any sense that anything was wrong. It was just a regular evening. I had a relatively quiet day. There was a knock on the door. Quite soon after, there was a much more solid knock. It was much more insistent. So I went straight to the door. I cracked it open and the door was shoved in and the room was just filled with about half a dozen guys everywhere, filling the room. And I had no idea what was going on. They want to make a political point, they want to try and scare other journalists, they want to rattle a few cages. They'll keep me inside for a few days, a week maybe. But then this would blow over.
Within the first few days, I think I realised that we've got to let as much of Australia know what's happened.
When it's your own children in a situation like this, you've got to rise to the occasion.
This was the first step towards defending Peter's future.
I really thought that my first trip over to Cairo was going to be the one and only. It was a happy reunion, but also, fairly confronting. I didn't want to sort of get overwhelmed with the circumstances of what was happening and the fact that he'd actually was locked up in this, box that was no bigger than a small bathroom. Court was another experience in itself. One thing I do remember about that was so confronting was seeing Peter in this cage, like a caged animal, was just horrific, really.
It was quite a shock and a little bit demoralising to sort of see them sort of treated like that.
I really genuinely felt that towards the end of that first 6 months that we've just got to tough the court process out, and at the end of that, then the verdict will be in our favour and we'll all go home, back to our normal lives.
After 13 hearings, farcical performance at each of the hearings, beyond belief what was going on. We were kind of building up almost to a high, ready to crack the bottles. It was one of the most kind of memorable hits on the head in my life.
I remember hearing this judge speak and then a huge uproar. I heard my translator say, guilty 7 years. And I said, what? I thought I didn't hear him right. I said, us? Me? He said, yes, you. I remember almost this ringing in my ears. It felt like I'd been king hit by Mike Tyson.
It still sends a shiver up my spine and gives me goosebumps when I think about that particular court session. That whole period after the verdict, I think it was probably one of the worst times for me personally through the whole campaign. That I just didn't know what to do and had no real plan. And I remember waking up, in the hotel each morning and realising where I was, what I had to do that day, and feeling physically sick in the guts.
But then, you have to sort of overcome that sort of shock fairly quickly and then move on and work out where to from here.
You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off and you go again.
Mike and I came to the realisation that we just had to, this was really serious and we had to ramp things up and get professional and get organised. I thought being a farmer, we're used to dealing with uncertainty and unpredictability, but I remember saying, look, running a farm is a piece of cake compared to this thing because it's just like 10 or 100-fold more unpredictable.
I felt that the authorities were playing games with us. I was getting ready to tell Mike that we need to start a hunger strike.
It just seems the Egyptians are so staunch in trying to keep Peter in. I remember writing in my diary, I'm at a loss. I was in despair as to where to from here and what we can do next.
And then all of a sudden, it was over.
Just as I was almost writing those words, I get a phone call from the Australian ambassador. I'm getting told that, I've just got an email or contact from an Egyptian, official saying, Peter's getting out tomorrow. What do you say to that?
And they put me in a prison van and hustled me out the gates, hustled me out the door to the airport. Opened up the door, I stepped out, they said, nice of you to stay with us, hope you enjoyed it, come visit us again sometime. It's just completely crazy.
And they stood out there and watched us actually get on the plane until the doors were closed.
Just in case you decided to stay a bit longer.
Sorry, mate, want to stop up the pyramids?
Yeah.
When I walked out and saw that massive pack of people, of cameras, of photographers, of crews, that was the moment.
The moment.
That was sort of like the punch that, we'd made it and we'd done something, pretty special.
It was a hell of a ride. Went to places that I'd never been to before, done things that I'd never done before, met people that, would never dream about meeting.
You're forced to do certain things you wouldn't normally do. And sometimes you find out that maybe not so bad at it,
when you reach retirement at our age, at any rate, you don't imagine that you'd be faced with all these new experiences that we have had.
You know, I think it's been pretty stark lesson in people's ability to adapt and cope with pressure, and how the human spirit can endure a lot more than we all think we're capable of.
There we are. Brings them home.